I've been playing Venomancer support recently and finding success with it. I'm not here to guide you on how to play Venomancer, there are tons of different approaches for that. I simply want to highlight the key things that this hero offers that I think people are overlooking and what makes him a great support at the moment. He can be really strong in lane, especially depending on your lane partner and your lane matchup. If you're against a double melee lane, Veno slaps. Gale plus Poison Sting plus Blood Grenade is an insane amount of slow and damage. If your lane partner is there to assist, this is going to either end in a kill or a lot of damage on the enemy. An easy play is to wait for the enemy to come up for a CS, then throw everything on them. Veno is a universal hero, so grabbing some stat items at the start of the game along with his spells allows him to square up pretty well against a lot of heroes. That being said, he can be susceptible to enemies with reposition spells such as Tiny's Toss or Batrider's Flame Break. If the enemy can get on top of you, you're usually a pretty easy kill. Before going into lane, keep in mind how the enemy could kill you and be cautious of it. The second and probably biggest reason why I think Veno is a strong support is Plague Wards. These offer so much for so little. For only 30 mana on a 5-second cooldown, you can place a ward that gives 800 ground vision, can attack, and even applies Venomancer's current poison sting level on enemies. The list of different ways to utilize this spell is huge. Use it to scout the area before an engagement, especially side paths where the enemy might be trying to sneak around to. Getting hit by a Plague Ward is often enough to make an enemy rethink their approach or at least slow it down. Cancel Blink Daggers, ruining the enemy's initiation. You can even make the wards attack whoever you want as long as they're in the attack range. So if you see an enemy mag looking to blink RP your team, make your Plague Wards keep hitting him to easily tilt him. Check cliffs for dewarding. Put your sentry on the low ground, then a Plague Ward on a high ground or cliff. This way you can cover a much larger area with your sentry ward. Use Plague Wards to deward. Heroes take 2 hits to kill enemy wards. Plague Wards take 10. That sounds like a lot, but with 2 or 3 Plague Wards attacking, that won't take too long, and you'll be able to stay back in a much safer position while they do the work. Block enemy camps. If you're farming the enemy side of the map or simply running by, throw a Plague Ward in their camp before you leave to block it. They last for 40 seconds, so as long as it's not killed, it'll probably block the camp. Pushing and defending towers for obvious reasons. Although Plague Wards don't hit too hard, they're so spammable that having all those extra units hitting greatly increases the pressure you can apply or relieve from an enemy tower or your own. Plague Wards can be extremely annoying to play against. Even just throwing them out when you're running around the map can be a great way to scout an enemy running through that area, which can give a lot of information away, allowing you and your team to make more informed decisions on your map movements. They're also great to farm with. If you can find some downtime and space, you can easily clear through some camps in a timely manner, getting some easy gold and XP that you'd otherwise struggle to find as a support. So yeah, Plague Wards can be extremely useful in many different ways at all stages of the game. Veno isn't reliant on a specific item build. He can go for whatever his team needs in that specific game pretty comfortably. He can go for more standard support items like Force Staff or Glimmer Cape, or he can go for more situational items like Vessel, Veil, or even Orchid. You can go for Tranquil Boots into Boots of Bearing, or Mana Boots into Greaves. My point is, he's flexible, and having this flexibility is really fun to play around. You can get a better idea of which items are better than others in different situations. Regardless, any standard item build you go for will be good on him. This same idea of flexibility also applies to his skill build. I've been opting to max Plague Wards first to make them stronger and harder to kill, but I know a lot of players like maxing his Poison Sting first. Again, try different things out and see what feels good. Now let's talk about his ult, Noxious Plague. I'm not going to go over how this spell actually works, but if you want me to, let me know and I can make a separate video on it. But the gist is that it's a lot of magic damage and movement slow. It does an initial burst of damage as it hits the enemy, then slows the targeted unit and units around them. After it expires, it shoots a similar attack at enemies around the targeted unit, doing even more damage. This offers Veno a great way to threaten a group of enemies or an enemy on their own. Look at this game I had where I ended up fighting this ogre on my own while my whole team was fighting down here. And with my little position 5 Veno, I made him have to TP to base. I think most people just don't expect the impact the spell will have, especially since the impact and damage is so prolonged. Last thing is Veno's Aghanim Shard Latent Toxicity. This spell is really interesting, situational, and potentially game-winning. Basically, it slows and damages a unit, but if that unit dispels latent toxicity in any way, they'll take a big burst of damage and be stunned. This is especially useful later in the game when the enemy has things like a Manta or BKB. Use latent toxicity on them before they use these items, and they'll either have to wait for it to wear off or deal with the 1.6 second stun. And yes, it will stun a BKB target if they BKB after you use it on them. Pretty cool. I love heroes that can do a lot with only a little, and I think Veno fits into that quite well. He can have very different playstyles and offers a lot of utility for his team in very unique ways. He's able to find farm for himself pretty easily and can even be a big damage dealer at all stages of the game. What do you guys think of Venomancer as a support? And if you want me to go over any of Venomancer's spells in depth, let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I hope you learned something new with me.